Bell has developed a curriculum for African American youth. And based on some of his work, I'm going to provide you with examples of exercises which you can implement in your communities. Also, it's important to keep in mind that these exercises can transfer to any ethnic group. But I'd also like to talk first about the meaning of boundaries and what it means for teenagers to cross boundaries, both personal and cultural. A boundary is a sense of separateness and individuality that prevents people from being too close, but it also allows for closeness whenever that's necessary. Boundaries help us to have an identity of our own. Some boundaries allow or prevent physical closeness, like somebody standing too close to us. For example, if someone, there are other boundaries, however, for teenagers to deal with that on a more personal level. For example, if somebody asks a teenager, do your parents fight at home? Or have you ever been kicked out of school? These kinds of boundaries are called personal boundaries. We know that personal boundaries have been crossed when somebody gets too close, either with their body or with a certain question or a comment. And kids often find themselves wanting to say, get out of my face, or mind your own business. Now, cultural boundaries are different. Many African American teenagers have specific boundaries that touch on sensitive topics in the Black community. For example, many American families are headed by a woman and there's no father around. This is a cultural boundary, and teenagers feel different talking about topics like this with their Black friends than they do with their white friends. Why? Because these kinds of topics might reflect stereotypes that makes the Black community look bad. When someone asks you a sensitive question or raises a touchy subject regarding race, the first question you have to answer for yourself is, what is this person's motivation? Or why did they ask this question? If someone asks an African American teenager about Black people and crime, for example, they need to decide whether that person is being racist or insensitive, is stereotyping, is asking a legitimate question, or is just making a comment. Remember that sometimes people ask insensitive questions about the Black community, but they aren't always being mean about it. They just are not informed or perhaps educated about the Black community and African American culture.